Francis Heyliger, you recognize for your 7 minutes.
Thank you. Good day to my colleagues. Good day to the testifiers and the people of this territory. The first set of questions I want to ask, as I have been listening for quite a bit of time, a couple hours, to the testimony from VIHA, I want to find out from you, in the last 20 years, how many units or homes that you guys have brought online in regards to the people of this territory? Do you have a rough estimate? Just in the last 20 years. Okay.
Senator, we have a listing of information for you on each development and when that development was brought online in the last 20 years. And I believe that there have been approximately 340 units that's been brought online from the Housing Authority New Development, Lewis E. Brown 1, 2, and 3, and Sugar Estate. Not to mention the construction in progress now.
Well, the reason why I asked you in the last 20 years is because I've been listening to this dialogue about potentially wanting to bring Eve. And unfortunately, a lot of these processing and anticipations and beliefs don't really turn into the type of numbers that we really need to see when it comes to housing here in our territory. And that's a major, major problem for me as someone here trying to represent the people that need these housing. Now, I want to ask a question. When I was listening about a lot of the need for maintenance, where do you guys advertise for people to come and assist? Because one of the major issues that I get as a representative is, as much as I sit here and I hear what you guys are saying you're doing, when I deal directly to the residents and speak to them, I'm hearing another story. I'm hearing about the falling down sinks and the holes where somebody walked into coming down the stairs with a tile and somebody almost broke their leg. And these are things, when it comes to maintenance, that outside of us even wanting to build and repair major homes, how do we deal with these simple little things that effectuate the lives of the people on a day-to-day basis? And when I hear conversations like we need additional people, almost like it's a sounding excuse. I own a radio station. I don't hear you people advertising on it. I listen to radio all day. I look at television commercials. Where are you guys advertising for these people to assist with making sure that the maintenance is done at these housing communities? That's what I'm trying to understand in this question. Go ahead. Anybody?
Senator, we understand your concern of wanting to see results of the work that we're doing, and we simply use the channels, the regular channels available for advertising for jobs, the Department of Labor's website, the Housing Authority's website, and other publications. We solicit for individuals to be hired. The same thing with contractors. We solicit that information in publication.
Do you go to the places where a lot of people are? Do you advertise, say, on Facebook? I get Indeed ads every day on my phone for jobs in the Virgin Islands. They pop up on my phone. Do you run things where people now are utilizing their smartphones? There are over, 90,000 plus smartphones in the Virgin Islands. These are ways that you get direct access to people. I'm trying to figure out the quickest way to get your information out, to get the necessary maintenance people in place to help the people of this territory within our housing communities. So it's nice that we're having these nice conversations, but when people are living this day to day and I have to get the phone calls, it boggles me when I'm having the dialogue with you, because what you're saying and what they're dealing with is not matching up, and it's a concern for me.
Senator, if I may, it can't match up. Mm-hmm. It cannot match up. For every position that we've interviewed for, that we have vacancies, we have roughly between 20 and 30 applicants, right? Of those 20 and 30 people, we may end up in an interview with 4 people.
Okay.
Believe you me, we use Indeed, we use DOL, we use everything there is to use. Mr. Silcott just recently did a Facebook post for our maintenance vacancies. But the individuals are not qualified.
Quick question.
So when you say, not going to match.
Okay, quick question. When you say a post, do you just put up a post on your page, or do you actually pay to advertise it to thousands of people on Facebook within the territory? Because that's a huge difference.
Right. And for right now, we're doing posts. So earlier in the testimony, we talked about we went ahead and do the marketing solicitation that's coming out to help us broaden the communication for the housing authority in all aspects of what we do on a daily basis.
I'll do y'all a favor. Send me a radio ad and I'll run it on my station. How about that? Because let's see. You do me that, and I will do you guys that favor. Because I need to figure out how to get people the help they need. And if I just have to do that to see if we could reach out to more people, we'll figure it out. Okay?
We appreciate that.
No
Thank
problem.
you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a blessed day, guys. My time is up.
You finished, Senator? Francis Heyliger is here itching. You may proceed with your line of questioning.
Thank you so much, colleagues, for giving me this opportunity. Good afternoon once again to the people of the territory, as well as the testifiers. Earlier in the conversation, we touched a little bit on the $4 million in regards that this body passed to be able to assist homeowners here in the territory. Unfortunately, for public education, one of the things we continue to be dealing with is this 20% down payment. I want to know if any of the housing authorities have done any due diligence in trying to get private mortgage insurance here in the territory. That has been one of the major reasons why we have to do this 20%. Have part of any of your programs been to reach out to banks through the Lieutenant Governor's office or even outside of the territory to potentially actively recruit private mortgage insurance lenders here to the territory to potentially get to the point where we could reduce this 20%? Because with some of the lending programs through the government, etc., this is a requirement, and that's why we suffer here so much with this 20%. And can you imagine how that $4 million could go a long way if our individuals here in the territory was only paying 5, 6, 8% like you would see done nationally? And a lot of the reasons that bar us from doing that is getting private mortgage insurance. Is that something that you guys recognize as a major issue, and are you actively pursuing to really reach out and get that part of the market situated?
Senator?
Yes?
CO Richardson, that conversation has been held with both the banks and the Lieutenant Governor office previously.
What did they say?
Exactly.
Having the conversation is nice. I want to know what the result of the conversation was.
The banks have been working to see if they can get the private mortgage insurance through the banks. And if a private mortgage insurer comes to the territory, they would have to go through the whole registration process with the Lieutenant Governor's office.
Well, I get that. That's why I brought it up. I'm saying, what is the actual effort? Because you guys present as one of the largest potential dealing with home ownership here in the territory. That is a major part of why people have to come up with this 20%. What kind of strategic plan do you have that you're actively really pounding the pavement to really see if we could get private mortgage insurers here to the territory? Having a conversation, I could get up right now and have a conversation with somebody. That doesn't mean that it's a priority for me to really get home ownership to be something that people could actually get done here in the territory. And that missing component is a major problem for us here.
Senator, I think that conversation should be held with the Lieutenant Governor's office as well, because they and the banks both stated in their conversations with PMI banks or PFI offerers that they view the territory as being too small to come to the territory to offer PMI insurance. So
for them to even see it as feasible. Okay, I didn't hear the response earlier when we talked about people applying to utilize some of this $4 million, and apparently, the banks wasn't aware of it. Is there a reason as to why they
banks? I'm sorry, Senator.
Go ahead.
The banks were in all the conversations with Senator Bailey in constructing this bill. The conversation have been had that the act has been signed, the bill has been signed, it's now an act, and it's just to formalize any advertising materials that we want the banks to carry for itself. But the bank
how long do you think something like that is going to take? Because I'm in the advertising business, so it takes me sometimes an hour, days just to get it done. What is the plan, or is there a specific time frame or timeline to get these advertising completed and put out to the public? Do you know?
As we mentioned earlier, the authority intends to have a vast campaign on Act 8465 within 3 weeks.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. I will be looking forward to hearing those ads running. When it comes to homelessness, Continuum Care, what do you guys do in order to work with the nonprofits to make sure that they're fully tied in and a part of anything that you're doing, specifically with our homelessness and Continuum Care?
Certainly. Ms. Brenda Harrigan-Walwin, if you could go ahead and respond to Senator Heyliger.
Good afternoon, everyone. Brenda Harrigan-Walwin, Emergency Solutions Grant Coordinator. VIHFA is very active with the Continuum of Care, and this is the the body through which we collaborate. We have a number of government agencies, nonprofits, faith-based, and we meet monthly to plan and strategize for using the funds that we have available for housing and assistance with homelessness. So
when you plan and you strategize, what exactly do you execute? I'm an execute kind of person, because when I sit here and I hear a lot of we're processing assessment, we intend to, we're strategizing, we're planning, I like to hear what exactly have you actually gotten done? That's kind of important to me too.
Okay, so VIHFA is the collaborative applicant for the Continuum Care, and that means we have responsibility oversight over the MTOC manages the HMIS, and we have oversight of that as well. And we coordinate the process of applying for COC HUT funds annually. We manage that process, which allows the various agencies, member agencies, to apply for funds, and then those funds are awarded through HUD annually. We also assist in executing the coordinated entry system, which is designed to facilitate the process of residents actually receiving services. It's supposed to streamline the process so that people have access wherever they turn up for services. We have a no wrong door policy so that they can get services, and so we network with the various government and nonprofit agencies to ensure that the individuals who have the most critical needs, that they are prioritized. And so we direct them through that process. We direct them to the various services that are available. So we do needs assessments and look at the applicable funding that's available so that we can meet those needs.
Thank you so much.
No, we have a lot more.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Could I ask my final question, please? Thank you. I wanted to know, and when it comes to this state of emergency, this is one of the things I try to ask of many of the different agencies that come before us so I could better understand. Are we going to lose any money or funding if we are no longer in a state of emergency? And if so, can you please share with us what areas will be affected in regards to that? Well, the director, anybody in regards who can answer me. I'm okay. I'm open to
Yes, I'm
whoever
sorry.
knows the answer.
Senator, can you repeat your question, please?
Okay. What I wanted to know, when it comes to the state of emergency, if we are no longer in a state of emergency, what areas are going to be affected? Is it going to stop the flow of certain aspects of funding, and is it not going to? Please share with me what you're aware of.
It's not going to.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware, it's not going to affect our funding capabilities.
Okay, so we could be out of a state of emergency, but we're still covered based on what we have already been obligated to get.
From what I understand, yes, Senator.
Okay, thank you so much for that answer. Thank you, Master Chair, for the additional time.
Thank you, Senator Francis Heyliger. Point of inquiry by Senator Francis, and then you recognize for your point of inquiry, Senator Francis Heyliger.
Through the chair to the CFO, I would like to know, earlier during the process we had funding and lease agreements and stuff for different nonprofit organizations. I want to know, how do you guys partner? When I asked earlier about continuum care, you gave me an outline, but for example, one of the organizations was Hearts in Service that I know. I had an opportunity to do a tour of their locations. They have 3 brand new buildings that could accommodate individuals that are homeless. They have a building, I think they're by Four Winds, that is multi-story, that they're trying to fundraise in order to build a 35 homeless location to renovate that building. How do you deal directly with organizations like this to assist with homelessness directly? I need to know what the tie-in is. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Senator. Again, I believe that question might be best answered by Ms. Harrigan-Walwyn.
Senator, could you repeat the question, please?
Okay.
Senator Heyliger?
Yes, I'm here. I was talking about organizations that currently exist. For example, I spoke about Hearts in Service. They literally have 3 buildings that are completed. I got a chance to see a tour of them that could assist with housing the homeless. They also have a building across from Four Winds that I know that they're fundraising and doing stuff to try to renovate to potentially hold or house an additional 35 people that are homeless. I'm asking you, how do you guys directly tie in with organizations such as these in order to help our homeless population?
So a couple of ways. One is through our CDBG program, and they can apply for CDBG funding to either acquire properties or to do renovations. And those 3 buildings, I think that you're referring to, that would be in Smith Bay on Cassie Hill. Those buildings were built through CDBG funds, and so they are awaiting completion. And once they're completed, Hearts in Service can, for example, apply for ESG funding to assist with providing the services for the individuals, for the residents who will be there. So it's 2-pronged. You can apply for funding through CDBG to build and renovate, and then you can apply for program funds to assist in running and providing some services. And for those services that we cannot provide through our ESG, we collaborate with other agencies to provide the services.
Mr. Chair.
And